So today I'm going to be going over how I set up my table frames with dowels. Obviously you can use pocket holes, you can use dominoes, some people even use a biscuit. So I'm just going to go over some of these steps in this video. It's going to be a quick video, probably about 5 minutes at the most. So it's going to be kind of sped up, but it's just going to be going over how I join an apron or stretcher to a leg. So my issue with, for example, I bought this Grizzly spindle jointer. It's like a Dowel joiner. The problem with this is, for one, it uses 8mm dowels. That's not really no good. Now you could buy for an extra $50 the 10mm cutters, but also the cutters are kind of wide. I've got my tape measure here, so hopefully you can see this. The cutters are about 2 inches, a little over 2 inches apart, essentially. And most apron and stretchers, a lot of times, are about that thickness, sometimes thinner, depending on what you're using for. For example, if I'm building something with dowels, and I'm not using pocket screws with glue or Domino, I'm probably going to be doing smaller furniture, especially if I'm using smaller 8mm dowels like this. So the idea is to connect your apron stretcher to your legs, essentially. Usually you want to have a little bit of a reveal, so you have spacers, things like that. So either way, this video is going to be showing how you do a kitchen island building with dowels. And I've used this little wood river jig. This thing's pretty good. I got it at Woodcraft. I think it was about 60 bucks, maybe 50, but it's pretty good. It comes with some spacers, some connections. It even comes with also the main part of this video is this. These pointers, these dowel pointers are, I mean, they're lifesavers if you're going to be using dowels. If you're going to be using dowels, you have to have these, I think, in my opinion. They have different sizes. They have 8mm. This is, I believe, the 12, and they also have these 10mm. So there's different sizes. You can buy packs. You can even get them at Harbor Freight, or you can order them online. So some people build tables. They use, like I said, you can use the Domino here. I love the Domino. I have the 500. I do use it, especially for bigger tables. Some people use a biscuit joiner for joinery. I would not recommend that. Like I said, some people use this. It's supposed to make things easier, but it really doesn't. I don't use it. I mean, this is perfect for, I think, if you're going to be joining tables, tabletop pieces, laminating tabletop pieces. You also have these little jigs like this. So really, all you're going to really need is this. This jig, I think, is perfect, in a clamp, and a mechanical pencil, and a marking tool. Really, it's really all you need, and your 10mm or 3/8 inch dowel. So when I do these, though, I will cut with a 10mm bit with a mark, with a piece of tape marking where I'm going to be. But also when I join to the legs part, I'll use a bigger. Sometimes just a little. I think if you use a 3/8 inch, believe it or not, I think the space is a little bit bigger, the hole, just a tiny bit. So it gives a little flexibility, like a Domino. So this is what I could use. Now other people, you can use, a Craig jig, and I have multiple Craig jigs. For example, you can get this for about 40 bucks. It comes with the bit, and just buy the screws. This is pretty good because you just clamp it to your piece like this. Just clamp it to your piece. So this is pretty good, and I do use this, but it's glued. The problem I don't like about pockets, if you kind of rush through it and you don't have it perfect when you clamp it down, sometimes it could your tables come out a little wobbly sometimes if you don't have everything really clamped down good. You've got to take your time. So what I normally like to do, I like to just kind of glue them up first, let them sit for a little bit, and then I'll joint them with the Domino, with the screws. I'm sorry, with the Craig's pocket screws. But I think this jig is all you really need, and the video will show you how I build it. Dowels definitely take a little longer than Dominoes, but with these little pointers, I'm telling you, it really kind of speeds the process up. As long as you mark everything ahead of time, like the same thing you got to do with a Domino joiner. You still have to go mark your find your center or whatever you're going to not your dominoes, your tenons. So that's the key, is to be able to connect everything and take your time. And like I said, these pointers, I mean, really, I think these are lifesavers if you're going to use dowels. If you have these, I mean, really, it just makes your job so much easier. Like this is okay. If you get a cheap one for like 20 bucks on Amazon, it's okay. But if you're using something a little thicker, it doesn't really work. So this is for like real thin stock, mainly for like if you're going to laminate a tabletop, which, you know, that's fine. But I'm going to use a biscuit if I'm going to do that. It's just a lot quicker, and I think it provides just as much strength and level, which that's what the biscuit technically does. It just kind of gives it a little more. Just kind of levels out your piece when you're laminating tops. But when you're doing joinery for a frame, you want to either use Domino or bigger dowels. All right, that's about it.
So this video, we're just going to go straight to the joinery and the assembly. So we're going to be marking our centers where we're going to put the dowels, and that's the same process you would use with dominoes. So you're not really losing any time here. This jig, you just kind of put onto your end pieces, your stretchers and aprons, and just use the jig. So then after you use the jig, which is not that much really slower than using a domino, you use these pointers. These pointers really make things a lot easier. So that will give you your exact marking. It will give you little pinpoints on your legs, and you don't even need the jig at this point. You can just use your drill with your 3/8. I like to use a 3/8 inch bit going into the legs, and just dry fit everything. And just put a little tape on your drill bit so you know. So there's the pointers close up. These things really speed the process up. So now we dry fitted everything. So now we're gonna do final assembly here with some glue. Just kind of place everything in place. These are going to be um, side frames, and we're going to be gluing these in and tapping them in very lightly. And this part's pretty easy. It's going on setting the front and back. That's when it gets a little tricky. You'll see in a couple seconds here. So we're just going to kind of get everything in, tap it in, put them together. And what I like about dowels and dominoes especially is things come together level and straight. As you can see here, this is going to have two shelves. It's going to be one at the bottom, one above, because this one's going to also have a drawer too. This is particular step. That's why it's a little close to the top. It's going to have a little drawer there and a small shelf up top. So that's how this is going. But usually I would have it spaced out evenly. But for this particular video build, it's closer to the top. It's all centered. So okay, so now we have the side stretchers built. I clamped them up a little bit, and you'll see pictures in a couple seconds here of them sitting for a few hours. Now we're going to do the front and back. This gets a little trickier because now you have a lot more material you're working with. It's a little heavier, a little more awkward. But once you get it all in place, just get a little spacer block and just tap them in lightly with your mallet, and these come together pretty good, and they come together straight. There's no manipulating after these come together. These are just pretty much straight and level. And that's about it. So these definitely make things really quick. I can almost build these faster than I can with a domino. Really, and for 50, 60 bucks for that jig, it definitely helps. And you can use cheaper ones even. You can get them on Amazon. I got this one from Woodcraft. I'll try to link it if I can in the description. I'll try to link everything I use. But this is it. It's going together. It's pretty much done. This is, like I said, this is just strictly a dowel assembly build. And there it is, clamped up. We've got a lot of pressure, and that's earlier in the day with the side stretchers. And there it is. And this project's done. It's pretty easy. I use dowels often. Thanks for watching.